The Cowboys have had their bye week. It was horrendous the last time we saw them play. In the interim, we've had Jerry Jones get very upset with the hosts on 105.3 The Fan for daring to ask obvious questions about why the team stinks. They're back. They're getting ready to face the 49ers. Here's Mike McCarthy asked this question. What are your thoughts about Jerry Jones' more recent comments about bad plays and bad concepts as a reason for the Cowboys' struggles?
Don't really have one. I talk to Jerry all the time. We've had time to go through the self-scout, so I can't really. I didn't see the comments specifically, so but I don't think we have bad concepts and bad plays. But I'll go back and check. But no, we're not where we want to be. I mean, that's clearly, and that ultimately is my responsibility, and I'm fully aware of that. But we are very diligent. We're on top of what we want to do. At the end of it, we just got to tighten up our communication and make sure our guys are playing fast and the ability to play faster than the opponent. And with that comes confidence. And I think that's what we're clearly working towards. And that's what we want to do Sunday night and get that win.
This is a tough situation for the owner of the team, who's also the GM. He went on and on in his Tuesday return to 105.3 The Fan about how he likes the talent. Yes, because he's amassed it. So it's got to be other things than the talent. And that's when he brought up this issue of play calls, play concepts, play designs. I just feel like when you're a bad football team, you can look at 20 different things. The bottom line is it all comes together to make for a bad team. There are talent issues. There are contract issues. There's coaching issues. There's execution issues. This is a team that is 3-3 for a reason. They haven't won a home game all year long for a reason. The only good thing about tonight's game, or Sunday night's game, is it's not at home. They get a break from playing at home, and the fans get a break from having to show up and witness it.
Yeah. Mike, Jerry listens to everything, and he heard Troy talk about those receivers running lazy routes and not running good routes, and he took that to heart. People he respects, when he hears him say something, he thinks it's true, whether it's true or not. And in this case, we all know that Troy knows what he's talking about. Troy's watched enough film. He's not like some analyst who just show up to the game and start talking. I mean, he studies and he's there and he knows what the Cowboys are doing offensively. And I know he's watched a lot of their film, and he has a lot of their games, a couple of their games anyway, but he was actually watching Ravens film when we saw the Cowboys receivers. So that's where all this stemmed from Jerry. It's not like he just pulled it out of thin air and says, hey, Mike McCarthy's designing bad concepts and bad plays for this team. It all stemmed from Troy Aikman's comments on the ticket here. So I don't know how this plays out, other than the Cowboys are not a very good team. I don't think they're going to be a very good team all year. They're going to kind of be in that 500 range the entire season. I do think this is Mike McCarthy's last season. They're going to let this coaching staff go at the end, and they're going to bring in a new coaching staff. So that's the question long term, is who's going to be the next coach of the Cowboys. And the Bill Belichick talk's going to start up later in the season as they continue to lose games. I do think they have a good chance to win their next two against the 49ers and the Falcons. So maybe that stops some of that temporarily, but it's going to start up again. And Mike McCarthy's then going to have to hear that as his team tries to get to the postseason. It's going to be a long year for this team, Mike. And I know the fans are disgruntled. It's the most disgruntled, apathetic Cowboys fandom that I've ever seen. And I've obviously been covering the team since following the team since the 1970s, covering them since 1999. So, it's different here right now with where this team is going long term.
The Belichick talk surely will begin again. Jones talked about Belichick himself after issuing the statement that Mike McCarthy wouldn't be fired. And I remember last year when the Belichick talk first emerged, Jason Garrett said, Belichick's not going to stand for all these people coming through the facility all the time. And that story came out yesterday from Kalen Kaler of ESPN.com. I didn't realize how extensive it was. I didn't realize it was daily paid tours where you've got fans intermingling with the players and gawking at the players and tapping on the glass. That was what Ben DiNucci said. I mean, they're trying to work out and they're tapping on the glass like, do something interesting. It's nuts. And there's no way Belichick takes that job unless first and foremost, the tours are over. He's not going to want to mess with that. It's going to be one of those stories where, like at a zoo, the lion jumps the fence and attacks the patron. If Belichick is there and you got fans walking around saying things and pointing at it, it's not going to happen. I was amazed that it was that pervasive. And is it a surprise that if the players don't have a true sanctuary, how do you expect them to ever perform at their highest level on a consistent basis?
Well, they won 12 regular season games the last 3 years doing the same thing. Winning is, but when you lose, everything's an issue. There's no question. But that's one of the reasons, Mike, that I've never thought Belichick was going to come here to coach the Cowboys, was because of the zoo that the Cowboys are, that Jerry Jones isn't going to give up his twice-a-week radio show. They're not going to give up tours. He's not going to give up tours at the facility, so you're going to have fans coming through. There's just it's not going to work for Belichick. So I don't think it's going to work for the Cowboys because Jerry's not going to give up any of this stuff. This is a moneymaker. They make tons of money off of this. This is what it's about. There's no question about that. He wants the publicity. He wants the money that comes with it, all of that sort of stuff. The winning is secondary. If they win, great. If they don't win, that's okay. We make a lot of money and people are still interested in us. He said that in the story, by the way, that it's okay. You're talking about us. It's good.
And I think one of the reasons he got upset last week, people are starting to see through the grift. I started to see through it earlier this year. This isn't about trying to win Super Bowls. This is about trying to maximize income, keep the Cowboys popular, keep 20 million plus people tuning in for every Cowboys game. They're losing that battle to the Chiefs now, and I think he feels it getting wobbly. He feels the apathy from the fans, and I think that's why he got upset, because it is starting to crumble and people are starting to see through and behind the curtain as to what's really going on with the Cowboys. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.